Guys, honestly, I cannot express this enough. I genuinely believe this is the best money-making opportunity that we have in 2025 using AI. I want to show you a workflow that I've been working on since Friday to now, and it contains a huge amount of updates from what we've been talking about. But before I get into that, I want to show you a little website that I created this weekend. Now, I'm laughing and while I say that, because it's not a little website at all. It's an absolutely giant website. So we'll just have a look at it here. Now, I made this website since Friday night. I've launched it since Friday night. I actually launched it about 12 hours ago. It's a directory for tradespeople in Ireland, and it has 2,000 pages, and it genuinely works. Like if I want, let's say, a locksmith, and I'm in County Clare, and I go to Scariff, and let it load a little bit. Now, I still need to work out a few different things, like how I can, rank this page on Google, for example. I think this page will rank on Google, but I'm still working things out. But if we actually go on Google and do a site, findatradespersonireland.com, this is my website. I made this on Friday. Well, I've made this since Friday. Launched it 12 hours ago. Okay, just remember that when I show you this. It has all of these pages indexed on Google, okay? There are 100 results per page here, and there are 3 pages. So it's at least 200, maybe closer to 300 indexed pages on Google since last night. So I'll click one of these. You see it says installation installers in Dublin, and then you pick your town, okay? So this is the county of Dublin, just so people can understand. Now, you could go deeper with this. You could do like really small villages and all of that. But, I'm just, like I said, I'm just getting started here. And you can actually see the specific town pages, like this one here, Scariff, they're not actually getting indexed yet. So there's still a slight change that I need to make to this process. But I'm going to show you exactly how I did that in this video. I'm going to show you the workflow, and then we'll have more videos coming very, very soon showing how to actually implement the workflow and everything. However, the process is actually fairly simple. Firstly, describe in words as detailed as possible what you want the application to do. I'm going to say application. It's actually a website. I'm not really that good with coding terms and programming and stuff, so I actually don't know what this would be classed as, but it's a website web application, okay? But one that gets ranked on Google. So make sure to describe that you want it to rank on Google. The more technical, the better. The reason I say the more technical, the better is because if you look at something like Next.js, you have to set it up in a very specific way for this to actually work. Now, I'll be nice here and I will leave the prompt that I used to get to this point in the description of this video, just so that people can understand how to get Next.js to actually be SEO friendly. So this is the prompt that I made. It's ginormous, but I will show you exactly how I made this prompt and how you can make your prompts, etc., okay? This may seem like a ridiculously long prompt. It's a 35-page prompt, but basically, you want to do this process. So make sure to, the more technical, the better. So for this, I recommend researching how Next.js ranks on Google, okay? Next.js specifically. And you'll have to look at SSR, which is server-side rendering, dynamic generation, and etc. There's a few other things as well that you need to look into. You can find those in the prompt, okay? Then we create a roadmap for the project using ChatGPT o1 Preview plus Perplexity for updated documentation. Okay, so we're going to use Perplexity to get up-to-date information on how these systems work. Okay, then we create a front-end design using V0. Then we send the front-end design plus the roadmap plus any relevant documentation to bolt.new, and then we create the app in phases, okay? Create a roadmap with phases. So this might seem like a very complicated process, guys, but trust me, do it once and you'll understand that it's actually not that complicated whatsoever. So we're going to be using AI to completely generate a website like this. Now, this is going to be a case study. I can't wait to see if this actually ranks on Google or not. I'm not even saying that it will rank on Google, but it'll be very, very interesting to see. I mean, it's already been accepted on Google, so we will definitely be keeping you guys updated on how this actually ranks. So we'll start here. Let's just say that I want, so this is ChatGPT 01 preview. I want to create a Next.js application that uses server-side rendering to rank on Google. You should use the most up-to-date methods to make sure that the app has some static pages, some pages that have both static and dynamic elements, allowing both page types to rank and be accepted by Google. The application should be a board game review generator application website that should pull from the Walmart API. So just for context, you can use something like Rapid API. Let's type Walmart here. They actually have the Walmart API. The reason I recommend something like Rapid API is just it's so much easier to set up than something like Amazon, okay? Amazon is really, really difficult to set up, whereas this is very, very simple to set up. So you can very, very easily set something up where you can get product reviews, product descriptions, and you can create something specific, okay? So you can then generate a website based on the Walmart API. And also, Walmart has affiliate, okay? It has an affiliate program, which is why I specifically chose Walmart. It's basically just a competitor, I guess, to Amazon. I guess it is a competitor to Amazon. So that's why I'm talking about Walmart. It might seem a bit random, but that just for your information, that's why I'm doing that. Walmart API to build pages which have reviews for pictures and whatever else about board games. So at this point, one thing that you'd want to do is, well, not actually at this point, but at some point, you need to give it an example response. Okay, so if you click on example responses here, you can see this has product reviews, right? This has product descriptions, if I go an example. So you can send all of this to ChatGPT or to Bolt.new later, and it can generate the pages based on the API responses. Okay, that's how this works, just so people understand. And whatever else about board games, please give me a roadmap excluding things like deployment and CI/CD and other irrelevant parts to this, as I know already how to both set up the project and also how to launch the project. Remember to include phases. For example, phase 1 is design, phase 2 is API implementation, phase 3 is SEO implementation, etc. Phase 4 is page type implementation, etc. Make sure to automate page generation as much as possible based on index pages. For example, board games for X or individual review pages, etc. There should be as many possible based on a list of tags, a list of words in a .json file that generates as many pages as possible. Make sure to think about SEO in your response and how to make as many SEO-friendly and Google crawler-friendly pages as possible on Next.js. Now this is just an example, guys, okay? I'll put this prompt in the description of this video, and we're now gonna start to create a roadmap, which we'll then feed to bolt.new to actually generate what we want to generate. Now, while that's doing that, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say, please create a modern, this is V0 by the way, a modern, stylish homepage design with header and footer for a board game review website. So what we want to do is we want to use V0 to give the skin, the look, the feel to our application, okay? And you've probably noticed I haven't used any programming, and I'm not going to be using any programming. All the programming is going to be used is AI. And just so you know, the way I learned about all of these different things like SSR and all these complicated terms is actually through research, okay? So I just researched how can Next.js rank on Google if it's dynamically generated, and it kind of explained that to me. So we'll see here, dynamic routing setup, bulk page generation, etc., SEO implementation, static pages, dynamic pages with static elements, advanced SEO and crawler friendliness, internal linking, breadcrumb, mobile friendly design, accessibility, compliance, etc., etc. So I'm just going to say, please, no, okay, we'll probably leave it there actually, that's fine. So we'll just copy this, and then we're going to head over to Perplexity, and we'll say, let's actually use spaces. I was trying this out the other day. Spaces does seem better for this. So custom instructions, you help me do research based on a roadmap. Give me code snippets from the latest version of all documentation for this project. And then we'll set the model to Claude. So what this should do, we're starting to build this prompt here. So we'll go to docs.new, and we'll first give it the roadmap like this. Let's see what V0 came up with. Oh, Board Critic, I like it. It's a good name. Oh, look at that. It's so clean. V0 is so clean. I love it. Make the homepage even more detailed with different page types like categories, etc. So you can see this is just gathering some external information here. It actually hasn't done a great job here. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to get we're just going to use Rapid just because I can't be bothered setting up like an actual account with Walmart. So let's say, what do we need? We need product description, product reviews probably, right? And then search by keyword. And then what would we search for? Board game. And then, yeah, I'll probably let this just work this out for itself. So we'll get the search function. We'll be using Node, so we'll just grab this. So that's the code, but you always want to include the response, because if it doesn't have the response, it doesn't know how to code the website. Okay, so make sure you always go to example response here, 56 keys, right? Let's just copy this and we'll put that here, like that. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so now we should have our V0, so we'll grab this home page as well, and we'll say, use this design throughout the entire process. And then finally, let's use these details here. I'll be deleting these at the end of this video, so don't bother trying to copy them. Use my API details. Okay, so you will have to feed some of this information back to it sometimes, but now we're ready to just go to bolt.new here and just paste this entire thing in. And then I'm just going to say implement phase 1 of the process. Use unsplashed for images. So kind of the idea behind this video is to show you can go from idea to prompt to MVP in 30 minutes, which is completely insane. I would, this used to take 2 weeks. Even like 4 days ago, this would take 2 weeks, 4 weeks. For me anyway, like, obviously, I'm not a programmer, but for me, it would take at least 2 weeks to get to this point where I can just see my idea in MVP format. Now, I'm not going to show you this in this video, but launching this application is slightly different. So if we just go back to the Excalibur, I actually found out is how it's pronounced, not Excel draw. There is a missing part of this. We create the app in phases, and then we download the app or put it on GitHub from Stack. What's it called? Stack Blitz. From Stack Blitz, which, by the way, to do that on Bolt, you just press open in Stack Blitz at the top here. Create a repository on that page as well, and then edit the TypeScript errors and other errors using cursor. The reason I say these two here is there's a difference. I didn't even know this until yesterday, but there's a difference between npm run dev, which starts the server, and npm run build, which builds the server for deployment. Now, to deploy your application to a server, like to have the website live where anyone can go to findatradespersonisland.com, you need to be able to build the application. So building the application is not the same as having an MVP working version in bolt.new, for example. But the interesting thing is it doesn't take that long to launch the application once you have the MVP. Now, I thought it took a lot longer, but it's actually super, super easy once you know that once you've got it in a working condition on Bolt, you can download it, take it to Cursor, and fix all of the issues from Cursor. Honestly, that piece of information there is huge. It really, really helps. This was taking me forever before. So now we'll see what Bolt can do. Let's hope that it doesn't suddenly decide to be complete trash after I built this entire application in probably 25 minutes in the last few days. So at the moment, it's just using a few placeholder images, but we'll see what it comes out with here. So we've got some names for things already. There should be a data. There is not a data thing just yet, but we will make sure that it creates one if it doesn't. But you want to store data like categories and types of games and whatever else you can think of in terms of index pages. For this website, that takes the form of locations and then towns within those locations. Yeah, this is all the different locations and all the different trades as well. So trades and locations are the way that I've generated so many pages on this particular website. I'm not massively bothered whether this works or not. Like, we're pretty early on in the process here, so I mean, if it doesn't work, it doesn't really matter. It does look like it's compiling though. Okay, so for this video, what we're going to do is we're going to leave it there now that we've created this prompt, and then we're going to take it into bolt.new in the next video and show you how to create in phases the app you want. But basically, all you do is you send this entire prompt to bolt.new and you play around with it. You get the first part done, so phase 1, and then you say now implement phase 2, and then you say now implement phase 3, phase 4, phase 5. Then once it's working on bolt.new, you download it or send it to a GitHub repository, put it on your local machine, and then get it ready for production using Cursor. So we'll go through that entire process in front of you in the upcoming videos. Thanks so much for watching, guys. If you're watching all the way to the end of this video, you're an absolute legend, and I'll see you very, very soon with some more content. Welcome to the second part of this series where we're going to actually try and build this application / website live. Now, for context, we're talking about programmatic SEO and websites like this one, findatradespersonisland.com, which I created less than 24 hours ago and which already has around 300 index pages on Google, which is completely crazy. Following on from last time, we have this roadmap which we built together. I showed you how to build this roadmap in the last video. Then all I've done is take it to Perplexity Pro and say, look up all the documentation on how to implement each one of these phases one by one, and then output the roadmap again, exactly as it is now, but with code snippets which help an AI implement this solution. And then it's given me the exact implementation of everything here. So what we're going to do is we're going to put that at the bottom of this document, so the roadmap, and then we're just going to go to bolt.new, and actually we'll download the roadmap here. So we'll download this as a .text, and then we'll go to bolt.new and we'll attach the roadmap. Then we'll say follow the roadmap. The first phase is implementation of this design. And then we'll go to V0, which we have open from last time. We'll copy the code, and then we'll copy this as well. The reason I'm copying this as well is so that bolt.new knows what's been built and how it's been built. So we'll press enter here. This should implement the first phase of this, which is just to recreate the home page, and should not be particularly difficult for Bolt, I should say. Now, one thing I want to say is that making one of these applications and launching one of these applications is two different things. Now, you can make one of these applications, but to make it rank on Google, you also need to launch it, which is effectively taking your application or your website and putting it on a server so that it can be used by other people, right? And that's how you start to rank on Google, of course. You can't rank on Google from localhost. You have to be live, publicly available, whereas localhost is just localhost. So yeah, well, you can see we already have a problem here. I already know what the problem is, and I don't understand why it's so difficult for this AI, for Bolt, to just have a simple implementation of a React component. I don't know why it has to take 20 minutes just to get to this point, but I mean, I guess. This is the same app that built findthetradespersonisland.com in 25 minutes is now struggling to even put a basic React component together. Very, very frustrating, this. It looks like they're having a problem with their servers now. So it looks like the issue might be the search functionality. I would rather just get rid of search and just not have search as an option. But because the original code that I sent to it has search as an option, obviously it's struggling. Okay, looks like it's compiled. Okay, right. There we go. Finally, very, very simply has implemented that. So now I'm going to say implement phase 2 of the roadmap. But I'm also going to give it the specifics from the API. So just from like the video, from yesterday's video, when I made this roadmap, I got all of the API responses and information, and I'm going to say use as much of the API response as possible to build the system, and then we'll paste that. And then I'll give it the API details as well so that we can connect it directly to the API. Oops, that's ChatGPT. Here are my credentials. Okay, so this should do phase 2. If we go on to here, you'll see phase 2 is API integration. So Walmart API setup, data fetching implementation, data transformation and storage. Yeah, not sure about storage, but that's fine. See what it comes up with. So this should actually build, rebuild what we've built so far, but with actual information instead of mock information. So what it normally does is it just makes up information and just stores it. That's what programmers do when they start building an app. They'll just put mock data until they actually connect the data. So now we're actually connecting the data. Now, one issue I already know that this is going to have is that Next.js needs to have images from external websites set up, and that will not be set up yet. So I already know that will be an issue, but that's fine. So now it's doing npm install Axios, perfect. Okay, I'm going to do npm run dev. Now like I said, it'll have the issue with the images, so it won't be able to draw the images just yet. But we should have some kind of basic implementation of connecting to the Walmart API. Walmart, by the way, just for context, it has an affiliate scheme and it has an API, so it seemed like a no-brainer. There we go, perfect. We're already at this stage where we're getting these results here. Amazing. And it already has some basic categories as well. So now I'm going to say, you want it to work at every stage, okay? So now I'm going to say implement phase 3. Yeah, what this does is it sets up, so if I just look for data, it's normally under data. It says that I've run out of credits on the Rapid API, but I definitely just paid to upgrade. So I'm not sure why that's the case. Oh yeah, and I do have the pro plan. It's I need rate limiting. I've rate limited. Also, you got cut off during your last response. Please continue with phase 3. So we need a rate limiter just because if we try and generate too much content at one time, Rapid API is going to say no because it's too many requests. So it actually says you have exceeded the rate limit per second for your plan. It doesn't say we've used all of our limit. We do still have limit. It's just, yeah, we'll work on this in a second. But basically what you want is for you to later be able to add more types of something to generate more pages. So for example, with this website here, what I did was I added more locations and I added more trades to a file, which then generated automatically more content because of the way that the website is actually set up, if that makes sense. Now, I keep getting the message didn't complete its response. This is going to be kind of annoying if it keeps doing this because, yeah, I should not be doing that. There's clearly something wrong with Bolt today. It's obviously being used by too many people, probably because it's just insane and more and more people are getting into it, I guess. But it looks like it got cut off again inside this file this time. Now we should still have something that's working, like this, for example. Let's just try click family. I guess this is not going to work. Yeah, no, it's not working. That's okay. We've still got, somewhere with featured games at the top. Now we'll say you got cut off in your response. Continue with static generation.ts. Okay, there we go. So you can fix it like that. That's good to know if it is broken. I don't know if that's necessary. Revalidate data. I mean, we could make that 10 years so that we're not wasting too many calls on the API, basically. We don't really need new data every hour. Like, that's insane. It's a lot of calls. So we can change that, obviously, later down the road. Please re-implement phase 3. There were some issues with implementation with your responses getting cut off. So ideally, by this point, we would want to have as many possible pages as possible, if that makes sense. So we've got categories, ages, players. That's good. So we have like board games for 3-year-olds, board games for 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds, 6-year-olds, etc., etc. And then we have board games for 2 people, 3 people, 4 people, 5 people, 6 people, etc. This is where the SEO comes from, because those individual index pages are the pages that we're actually trying to rank on Google. Now, something else that we could add towards the end of this project is we could add a button that says buy on Walmart that is an affiliate link to Walmart. Now, I'm not going to be setting that up in this video just because I'm not trying to necessarily make this into an actual project. I'm just doing this to show you guys how it's done. So this is now done. Let's see, npm run dev. This should actually start to work where we can click games and it should actually show us the information about that game. So like a review, so individual game pages as well. Okay, so we've got this. No, I want to see if the game pages actually work. So we'll press view details here. Now this, as far as I know, should work, but it doesn't seem to actually be a link. When I click a game, it doesn't work. Okay, so this is another little bit of gold that I'm going to give you. You should let Bolt decide how to create the SEO, okay? So what I've said to it there is I want you to think of as many page types as possible. So like I said before, we have age, number of players, category, and then I want to know what else it can come up with. So players, duration, complexities, perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. So we have easy to learn games, medium to learn games, complex games, shot by this, that, and the other. This is where we start to really build something that has a lot of oomph and a lot of pages behind it, okay? So this is where this comes from. Now, there are going to be problems at times, obviously, like this is now saying module not found, cannot resolve generated pages.json. So we'll fix that in a second. So we're trying to build as many pages to rank in as many places on Google as possible. That's kind of the name of the game here. We'll copy these here. This seems to have failed, so we'll copy that and we'll put that here. We'll see if this can fix it. Now, just so you know, there is a final stage to this. I mentioned this before, but actually launching this is not as easy as you might think. Now, my current best in slot way of doing this is get this to a point where you can use it on preview on Bolt and it's working as you want it to, and it's interesting, and it's got a lot of pages and there's a lot of SEO and et cetera, et cetera. Then what you do is you press open in StackBlitz and then you put it on a GitHub repository, put it local, and then work on it on Cursor. And the thing that you have to do is you have to run npm run build, and it has to actually build properly. That's the name of the game for actually launching an application or a website like this. But we'll have another video on that probably tomorrow, which my producer will have to sit through and then edit me shouting at my computer for several hours. So have fun with that. Okay, so it looks like it's compiled. So yeah, it works. Beautiful. Now if I click one of these games, it should load. That's okay. That's okay. We're almost there. We're almost there. Just a couple of errors here. We'll just send it the error. Yeah, we'll just send it the error. It's fine. Okay, so look, it says here, save all the modified files, run npm run build to generate the static pages. Right, okay, so we actually have to generate the pages for it to actually work. Now, this is probably not going to work, but let's just see what happens when we run npm. Oh, we got 9,000 pages. Okay, so wait, we don't want to do that just yet because that's going to take forever. But that's really interesting that you can just do that. Did you see that? It literally just says generated 9,015 pages in generated pages.json. That is actually insane. And then that then would become the sitemap as well, just so people know. Okay, so this probably won't work, this view button, because you actually have to build the pages for this to work, but that's okay. It shouldn't work. Okay, yeah, it doesn't work. Okay, so we've exceeded the rate limit again, but that's fine. Basically, once you've generated that page will exist, but it doesn't exist yet because we haven't generated the page. So now we just want to make sure that, please make sure that all of the categories, number of player categories, and any other index pages are fully implemented and are on the home page. So we want to get the category pages on the home page so people can understand a little bit more what we're trying to build here. But you can see we're getting there. This is kind of the process, and then we build the application after. Hopefully, if we can work out the rate limiting issues, which I didn't have those issues yesterday when I did this because I was using Data for SEO API, which doesn't really have that problem. Okay, perfect. So we would have, board games for kids, board games for 2 players, board games for a large group, board games easy, medium, and we can add things to this, right? Just by finding where these are stored. So I believe they're in here. So keywords.json. And then literally you take this to ChatGPT, expand this list, do not change the formatting. So this is how we get scale, just so you know. Okay, so this might not work off the bat, but just so we can kind of understand how this would work theoretically, is you would change that like that and then save it, and then that should automatically redeploy. And then if we scroll down, you'll see that it expands on that list automatically. That's where this gold comes from. This is the real kind of, gold or juice or sauce behind this this kind of project, right? It's here. So let's say if I click board games for kids, now I'm not sure this page will actually work yet because it hasn't been generated as far as I understand, and it does have another problem as well. But this is kind of, you guys understand hopefully what I'm doing here. So but even I'm confused by this. I don't really fully understand how this works, whether it's better to have dynamically generated or dynamic content on the page or static content. At what point do I build all the static pages, etc., etc. But yeah, so look, it says npm run build. So at the point of building all of the strategy pages and all of those, that's when they get built. Okay, so that's why they've got errors at the moment. That's fine. I understand, I think. So we're not generating those pages yet, but they do need to be static, I think, in order to rank on Google. But again, I don't really know that either. So now we'll say 4. Okay, so we'll implement phase 4 here, which will do the SEO for each of these pages. So implement phase 4. This should include a sitemap as well, which focuses on SEO. So meta tags and head elements, perfect. So it'll be like best board games for, all that good stuff. That's where that comes from as well. So we've added structured data markup as well. I mean, why the hell not? We may as well at this point. Now let's create a sitemap. URL optimization, perfect. Sure, lazy loading, why not? May as well, improve the speed of everything.
Yeah, not.
Oh, that actually works. Oh, the search works. That's sick. Now I can literally only see a search bar. Let's just press fix problems, actually. So once this part is done now, this is when I would download the application. So we're actually pretty much done. It's literally that simple. I know it doesn't seem that simple, but I've built an MVP for a website that would rank on Google in 25 minutes. So, I mean, that was not previously possible, to be honest with you. So it's completely insane. So the next stage of this is we would build the entire website. I believe it would all be static. I still don't really fully understand this myself, guys, so I apologize for that. But I believe we then build the website and then it ranks on Google, as far as I understand it. So if I press one of these, it won't work because it hasn't been built yet. So this is something I didn't understand yesterday when I was doing this project. So all we need to do now is actually get it to build. So if I do npm run build and this works, it's, 1,250, that sounds about right. That's not too many. But anyway, at this stage, guys, what I normally do is, I'm pretty happy with this app. It would be nicer if it looked a little bit better, but the way the app is now, it works. It has good potential for SEO. There are a lot of products on there from Walmart. I would probably add a Walmart affiliate link button to each product, and I would probably have to fix some kind of rate limit problems here. I doubt this is going to actually work, but now we have 1,250 potential category pages, product pages, etc. or review pages that could all rank on Google kind of in and of themselves. So that is pretty much the whole process for actually building the MVP of the thing. This is what I did yesterday when I made this website here, findatradespersonisland.com. It's working really, really well. I can't wait to see if this actually ranks on Google. Super, super excited to see that. It looks like this is actually working. Okay, that's fine. So what normally happens is Bolt creates code that is not TypeScript acceptable. So you can see here, type error, binding elements, params implicitly has any type. If you sit and try and fix this on Bolt, you will lose all of your code, okay? So what I recommend you do instead is you press open in StatBlitz here, and I'm not gonna go through the rest of it. This is pretty much the end of the video. Create a repository, make it private so people can't get your API keys and stuff. And then what this does is it allows you to put this on Cursor, or your preferred way of making code correct, and then keep running npm build, keep sending the error to Cursor, and Cursor is now how we will get this product ready to put on a website and start ranking on Google. I'm going to leave the video there, guys. Thank you so much for watching. This is so exciting, this kind of stuff. I can't wait to see what people do with this. I'm just giving you some ideas. My current idea is this board game website powered by Walmart affiliate and ads, and we'll see what happens. Thanks for watching, guys. If you're watching all the way to the end, you're an absolute legend. And I'll see you very, very soon with some more content. Welcome to the final installment of this series where I have planned, built, and then launched an entire website in front of you using Bolt. Now, last night, for whatever reason, I decided to launch another one of these websites because I'm just completely obsessed with this now. And I launched getmarriedinitaly.co. Really, really happy with the result here. Let's just have a little look at the website. You can see Italian wedding regions. And the reason I did this is because if you actually check the keywords, get married in Lake Como has 10,000 searches in the United States every month. Okay? So if we can get a little piece of that, what the hell is this? Lake Fit. If we can get a little piece of that, then we can start to sell leads to, florists, for example, in Lake Como, etc., etc. Now you can see this actually works. This is actually a directory for getting married in Italy. Now, I pretty much made this in the exact same way that I made findatradespersonIsland.com. Same concept, but I would argue that you can see that I'm getting better at this now. This looks a lot worse than this does. I think most people would agree. This also has a search thing, so we want to do a rooftop venue in Puglia. Let's do Milan, actually, because it's more likely to actually have a rooftop venue. And you can just see how super, super quick this stuff is, right? Gran Milan, Terrazza Tredici, Terrazza literally means rooftop. So this would actually be a rooftop wedding venue in Milan, okay? This took me about 5 hours, and we can actually see if we go on Google and we do a site search, you can see that it's already, and I released this literally at 7 a.m. this morning, don't ask, okay? I was up till 7 a.m. So less than 12 hours ago, and we're already on Google for these terms. Now, people keep saying to me, oh, but you're not ranking, these are just indexed. Yeah, you're right. Let's have a little look instead of Find a Tradesperson Island, okay? Now, one thing I will say is, obviously I made a video about this, so a lot of people were searching for Find a Tradesperson Island, but we still, yesterday alone, had 820 impressions. Now, again, people will say they are not from real people, etc., etc. Look at the keywords. Roof repair in Longford Island, that's a real keyword. Chimney sweep Dublin, that's a real keyword. Solar panel Limerick, these are all real keywords. And then if you go on countries and sort by impressions, you'll see that 383 impressions are from Ireland. So unless people are suggesting that 50% of my audience is in Ireland, which it's not, I'll tell you right now, it's probably about 1%, these are real impressions from real people, okay? To already have 255 keywords in Search Console on a website that was launched on Sunday night is insane, okay? It's probably the most progress I've ever made in terms of SEO in such a short amount of time. Now, if you're watching up to this point, guys, please, I really, really want to share these case studies with people, with everyone. I have to be careful because every time I show the case study, it skews the case study because everybody's clicking the link. Do not go on Google to find this website, please, please. Just go on the website directly. I will leave a link in the description of this video to getmarriedinitaly.co. If you want to see the website, please just click the link. Don't search for the website on Google because it's just going to mess everything up. And I just want to be able to properly have a case study. Now, one thing I'll say is a few pages are broken. I don't really care about this kind of stuff right now. I'm just building stuff. And then if it gets traffic, that's when we start to monetize. That's when we add ads. That's when we make this into an actual thing that will send emails to us. And then I could, for example, personally call wedding planners, because I speak Italian, and say, look, I have a lead for you. I want 5%, 10%, whatever, of whatever they spend with you. Otherwise, I'll take it to your competitor, for example. That's a pretty brutal way of doing things, but we could do that, for example. But, it's kind of, you build it first and then you monetize it. You don't really need to monetize it at the beginning because it's not going to get enough traffic for the first month, let's say. I probably. Although, to be honest with you, I'm kind of doubting that now, and I'm kind of thinking that we might get a bit of traffic in the first month. Let's go to bolt.new here, and we're going to go back to our board game website. Okay, so we had just got to a point where I was very happy with the result here. We had, a few different index pages, etc., etc. This isn't a particularly large website compared to some of the other websites that I built. For context, Find a Tradesperson Ireland has 1,800 pages. GetMarriedInItaly.co has 1,000 pages, which you can see on the sitemap, by the way, which it does have a sitemap. So yeah, really, really cool. Perfect. So we have the website in a pretty good position. However, there are a few problems. If I click something like card games, I need to know if this is actually going to work. So what this should do is it should load. Okay, it does work. Oh, beautiful. Look at that. Card game, board games. Okay, nice. There's no navigation whatsoever on that page, but that's okay. We can fix that. Not all the pages have been made, so I'm going to say implement all pages, page indexes, types of categories. Ensure everything is dynamically generated, so nothing 404s. Implement breadcrumbs. Implement SSR and ISR. Implement sitemap properly, and finally also implement header and footer on all pages, and add all new category types to the home page. So I just want to make sure that everything's completely working. Now, what you want to do while it's doing this is you want to make sure that it's not deleting any old code, okay, or it's not putting any placeholder code, because that will really, really annoy you and annoy me as well. But it looks like it's not doing that, so that's good. Okay, so we've added some breadcrumbs. Breadcrumbs are just so that the user knows where they are on the website, so they can click, forwards and backwards. Sitemap is now being set up. Categories index. Yeah, so discover the best category board games. Perfect, that's exactly what we wanted. This is the games index, which was on the top, which I just clicked and it 404'd, which is why I had to do that. And then components gamecard.tsx, that's the individual game things. Then we've got categories here. Beautiful. Complexity levels, player counts, player times. Okay. So that should be about ready to launch now. I would recommend running a prompt like this at the end of every Bolt instance. Implement all pages, page indexes, types of categories. Ensure everything is dynamically generated, so nothing 404s. Implement breadcrumbs, SSR, and ISR, which we talked about last time. Implement sitemap properly, and blah, 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 blah. Okay, so there is an error here, but I'm not sure if it's a warning or if it's a real error. It does look like it's no, it's just a warning. That's fine then. So we have the categories here at the bottom. If we click any of these, it should give us sports board games, for example. The way this works is it is now searching on Walmart for sports games, okay? So yeah, baseball trivia, there we go. That's kind of yeah, these are all sporty, kind of. So we'll press lists here. Let's just see what's on lists. That's going to 404, yeah, perfect. And then we'll click games here. There's also a sign in button, which will do absolutely nothing. And categories here. Okay, this is what we like, good. Okay, add the index pages for complexities and other things to the homepage and the header. Oh, they're here. Oh, right, okay, you can click them here. That's cool, actually. Remove sign in because it's doing nothing, and make the lists page not 404. This is the last thing we're going to do, and then we're going to generate the website. I just wanted to make something that's actually worth posting and not just some bullshit, basically. Because, I mean, I could easily just make this video where the website is trash, but, like, I do want it to be half decent, so. I'm probably just going to launch this. I'll have to buy another domain. Jesus, the amount that we've spent on domains recently is crazy. Just a little tip for you guys. Vercel is slightly better than Netlify. The reason being is one of these websites, it can take a very long time to build. If it takes more than 15 minutes to build, like Get Married in Italy did, it won't work if you use Netlify, because Netlify after 15 minutes will time out. So it's much better to use Vercel. So once we've got this at a point where it's building, we will then put it on GitHub, and then we'll import that into Vercel. That's the basic idea here. Rate my board, no. Board game rater, no, 2 hours in a row, I hate that. Boardgamereviews.com, I'll be taken, yeah. Bestboardgames4.com. Yeah, okay, .com, literally, we could just buy that, okay. We'll buy that in a second. And let's see here. Okay, perfect. So now we have browse by player count, browse by playing time, browse by complexity. Now I have no idea how this will actually work. Like, how does this? Why did that 404? Bruh. Yeah, okay. The pages for complexities, the index page for types of complexity and player counts doesn't actually exist. 404 should be dynamically generated URLs. Nothing should 404. So this is something that I find quite a lot. Like, it's very good at making the index page, but it's not very good at, you know, ensuring that the page actually exists. So we'll just we'll make sure this works. So now it's, yeah, it should work now. It's creating that page. And then the count page, perfect. So whether this actually will give games for 8 and more people, that's another matter, right? There's two things here. There's being able to create the page, and there's being able to actually find something on the API or through tags that will actually, oh God, rest of the file remains the same. I hate that. That will actually populate the page properly. I just need to have a quick shouting match with this AI. Just give me a minute.
You've added placeholder code to all of these pages you moved. Replace it, please.
This is the worst thing about Bolt, okay? It's the reason it's not the best AI tool in the world, is that it adds placeholder code. What do I mean by placeholder code? It will always write // rest of your code remains the same, and then it will save the file, and then you won't know until you're trying to fucking launch this thing for 3 hours, which happened to me last night, as you can probably tell by how annoyed I am. You won't know until, you know, that's happened. So very, very frustrating when that happens. Very, very frustrating. To be honest with you, even if it's not fully perfect now, I think I'll just launch it anyway, because otherwise me and the producer will be here until midnight, which I don't want. Okay, revalidate every hour. Perfect. That's this is what I wanted. I'll handle search logic. Yeah, we'll just ignore that. Won't touch that. That basically means that there's no search logic on the website. But again, these are just small things that I'm not massively bothered about right now. I just want to get this launched. Okay, so this should be done. Perfect. We'll just quickly check if this actually works. I'm still going to launch it if it doesn't, but let's just see. Oh, it does work. 2-player board games. Connect 4 is a 2-player board game as far as I know, right? Pretty sure it is. Does this work, the view details button? No, game not found. Why? Okay, that's fine. Let's try something here. So I'm just going to quit out. Right. We're now at the point where the website is in a launchable position. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press deploy. This will not work. Okay? This will 100% have TypeScript errors. I would bet my life on this having TypeScript errors. Every single time I've done this, it's had TypeScript errors. So you see here, it says linting and checking validity of types. It will not work, I promise you. There we go, perfect. So what we have to do is there are 2 ways to do this. You can either download the project now and fix this in Cursor. However, last night I learned that you can actually do this here as well. So I'm going to say, please only fix this error. Don't fix or change anything else. Don't remove any code. Don't add any placeholder code. Only fix this error. Okay, so what this is going to do is it's going to fix just the TypeScript error. If you don't know what TypeScript error is, it's basically, I mean, I'm not a coder, I'm not a programmer, but from what I understand is every part of code has a type, and you can't have the same named variable with 2 different types. So like a string, an array, and an object, for example. So that's the difference between TypeScript and JavaScript, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to keep running npm run build every time it's fixed the TypeScript error. And now it's going to give me another TypeScript error, and we're going to fix that one. See, exactly the same thing. So we'll say the same thing again. It's a different error, which means that the last error has been fixed. which is perfect. That's exactly what we want. Every time you want to triple click this prompt and make sure that you've got it ready, because there are going to be 5 or 6 of these TypeScript errors, okay? So we're going to have to very slowly go through each one and say, fix this, don't change anything else, okay? And then we're going to manually run npm run build ourselves, and we're going to get another TypeScript error. 3, 2, 1, TypeScript error. There we go. And we just want to make sure it's a different one. Yeah, it is a different one. So that means the last error has been fixed. There are normally about 6 of these to 7. It's pretty normal. It's just, I don't really know why it does this. I don't know why it can't code TypeScript properly. Like, it's obsessed with coding in TypeScript, and then it can't even code TypeScript properly. So probably there's going to be another error as well, which is the fact that there are apostrophes in the TypeScript. I'm going to show you another fix for that as well if that error does come up. So linting and checking validity of types, we're going to have the same error again. I promise you. TypeScript error, there we go. It's funny because it's always the same errors as well. It always makes exactly the same mistakes. So if they could just fix that and fix the fact that it somehow sometimes puts placeholder code, honestly, this thing would be insane. I mean, it already is insane, of course. I've launched 2 bloody websites in 48 hours. So we'll do npm run build. We'll get ready with our prompt again. Okay, I think we're pretty much there. I think this should work now. There might be a few more TypeScript errors, but we'll see. There we go, perfect. Creating a build. So now it's creating an optimized production build, and then it should say creating static pages. I don't think there'll be too many static pages this time, just because there aren't that many categories. Oh, one's JSON, one's .ts. So if we times this so now it's collecting page data, perfect. So as long as this works, okay, it looks like it's working. We can now launch this website, okay? So I'm going to show you exactly how to launch it. I'm going to cancel that, and I'm going to press open in StackBlitz here. Now we'll open it in StackBlitz because we bought the website on Vercel, but to be honest with you, this website was small enough to actually launch on Netlify, so I should have done that, but it's fine. Okay, beautiful. So now what we do is we go back here and we import this. Environment variables. I wish you could just copy and paste all of the, oh, you can. Wow, why didn't you tell me that before? Deploy. Okay, so we have the website here. Wow, we've seen that before. So what's interesting is, if I'm not mistaken, the content should be here somewhere. It shouldn't have to do all that again, because it does have ISR. You can see it here. It's weird that it has to generate them again. It shouldn't have to do that. I'm not sure what's going on with that, but you know, it's whatever. I'm pretty confident that this is done now, so we'll leave Bolt, and then if this doesn't work now, I'm gonna actually cry. Okay, amazing. We now have our website. So now let's just press add a domain here. I have no idea how to do this. There we go. bestboardgames4.com, save. Sure. Okay, so now if we just go to www.bestboardgames4.com, there it is. We are done. We have launched our website. So all of these pages here can become indexed on Google. I'm not going to go through that process in this video. I think we're done. It's been an hour of filming just to get to this point. But you can just see how quick this website is. Look at it. Bang, bang, bang. Look at that. Let's see if the sitemap exists. There we go. Beautiful. Look at that. Bang, bang, bang. So yeah, we're now finished. It's actually not that complicated to get this onto Google. You just need to add something to the head to verify Search Console, and then you're good to go. But yeah, we're going to leave the video there, guys. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you're watching all the way to the end, then you're probably mad, but thanks for watching, and you're an absolute legend. And I'll see you very, very soon with some more content. Peace out. If you're interested in programmatic SEO and how you can make money from it by making websites, watch this step-by-step tutorial on how to do it.